Good day to you one and all, and welcome back to another video presented by me, Mr. Locomotion. February 1st was the 100th anniversary of the formation of the London and North Eastern Railway. Upon learning of that, I decided it would be a good idea to make a video celebrating the LNER with its locos that I have in my model railway fleet. I am a little late to the party, as you might have noticed, but, as they say, better late than never, so let's begin. I have 4 locomotives from the LNER in my collection, and to start off, I will tell you about Quicksilver. An LNER A4 built in September 1935 to the design of Sir Nigel Gresley, number 2510 Quicksilver was the second of the class to be introduced after 2509 Silver Link, both of whom were among the 4 Silver Jubilee A4s to be painted in the iconic silver livery you see on the model today for the Silver Jubilee of King George V. Surviving the Second World War and passing into British Railways ownership in 1948, and given the BR number 60015, sadly, Quicksilver was withdrawn in April 1963 and eventually scrapped, most likely at Doncaster Works. Next up is the most famous engine to be featured in this video, and my personal favourite model in the collection, the Flying Scotsman. Another Gresley-designed locomotive, built in February 1923, its class, the A1, was originally designed by Gresley for the Great Northern Railway, but almost all of them would be built by the LNER as previously said. Originally numbered 1472, Scotsman would soon be renumbered with its more famous 4472 LNER number, worn when becoming the first officially recorded steam locomotive to reach a speed of 100 miles an hour. And appeared twice at the British Empire exhibition in 1924 and 1925. Also surviving the Second World War, during which it, like all A1s, returned to Doncaster Works to be upgraded to A3s, Scotsman would pass into BR ownership, given the BR number 60103, which it wears in preservation. Speaking of which, Scotsman was, as you're most likely aware, withdrawn by BR in January of 1963, and came very close to being scrapped until being bought by Alan Pegler, who, on top of restoring Scotsman, gave it its iconic second tender used while on tour in the US. Speaking of which, the failure of the US tour in 1972 would see Pegler lose ownership of this iconic steam engine, where it would pass through several private collections, as well as a less disastrous but less discussed Australia tour in 1988. Finally, in 2005, the Flying Scotsman was bought by the National Railway Museum, where it resides today. It is the only original A1/A3 to survive into preservation, though, as you may know, a new build A1 60163 Tornado was completed in 2008 and is also still around, which I guess why wouldn't it be, but it's good to know. Moving on, we have the LNER D16. The D16 classification can be used to refer to several similar classes of pre-grouping steam locomotives. The S46, D56, and H88, all built by the Great Eastern Railway to the design of James Holden and A.J. Hill, with the D56 and H88 becoming the D16/2, I believe, and the S46 becoming the D16/1, which would later be rebuilt into the D16/2 with longer smoke boxes, with all of them eventually being rebuilt into D16/3s. The model in my collection, the Hornby D16, is, I believe, based on the D56 variant of the D16. But getting back to the history, as I said, the D16s were rebuilt several times by the LNER, some being given longer smoke boxes, which is the aforementioned S46s, I believe. And then eventually they were all rebuilt by Sir Nigel Bresley with round-topped boilers. Also passing into BR ownership, the class endured until being withdrawn and scrapped in 1956, with no examples surviving into preservation. The final class to be discussed today is the LNER J15. Originally another Great Eastern class, the Y14, it was too reclassified upon entering LNER ownership. While the previous 3 locomotives discussed in this video were built for passenger work, the venerable J15, or Y14 if you prefer, was built by the GER to address a shortage of suitable freight locomotives, which, if I understand the research I did correctly, was brought about by a growing relationship between the GER and the Great Northern Railway. The J15s proved greatly successful, becoming the most numerous engine class on the GER, being built from 1882 to 1913. Staying in service through both World Wars, the J15 would serve for 10 years in BR ownership, until being withdrawn in 1958. Now, you may have noticed so far that we're 1 for 3 in terms of discussed locomotives surviving in preservation, but you may be pleased to know that one J15 has survived into preservation. BR number 65462 is preserved in running order and can usually be found on the North Norfolk Railway. And on that happy note, we have reached the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.